Another month has come and went, and I finally have a haul here for you guys, so stay tuned to find out what I picked up. Hey YouTube, hey guys, welcome into another haul video here, haul video number 154. So hope you guys are having a great day, um, great year so far, great week, whatever, what have you. But yeah, anyways guys, welcome into haul video number 154. So as I mentioned, this is still kind of a ways away from my last haul video, so about almost a month since I made a last haul video. And as I mentioned before, this is kind of to be expected. Definitely not purchasing as much physical hard copies of books anymore, and not buying as much Lego. But over the last month, I think I've slowly accumulated enough here that warrants a haul video, so that's what I'll be giving you guys here today. So stay tuned to find out what I got here. And without further ado here, let's go ahead and get into the comics section. Alright guys, welcome into the comic book section here of haul video number 154. So as I mentioned, I do have a couple of stuff here to show you. All of this is actually from IST, so from the last couple of weeks and last couple of months, honestly, this has been my haul. So I think I made about 3 IST orders. So that's kind of where all this stuff is coming from. But before I jump into that, I do want to talk about what I've been reading this past month pretty much. So I think the last time we talked on this haul video, I was still in the midst of my Captain America read through, which I still am. I guess I'll briefly go through that. I've read everything up until I'm currently about over halfway through the Jack Kirby Captain America Omnibus. But yeah, just to comment on everything I've read before that, very interesting stuff. I really did like all these different eras of Captain America so far. Now granted, you take it with a grain of salt. If you don't prefer Silver Age stuff, this may not be the best material for you. I would definitely consider jumping forward in time with Captain America's history, but it is really interesting to see kind of just the development of the character. We go from Captain America by himself to teaming up with Falcon, and even here through Jack Kirby's run, the book is still called Captain America and the Falcon. So that's really interesting. I really enjoyed that dynamic, and that title is not just there for show. Like, Captain America and Falcon are the two prominent characters in the book, so it's really good to see that. But yeah, I guess just to comment on what I'm currently reading with Captain America, I will say that I did have a lot of expectations going into the Captain America Jack Kirby Omnibus, and I'm still halfway through, so I'm not going to judge it too hard yet. But yeah, it's definitely not my favorite Jack Kirby stuff. I just feel like there's a couple of panels where I feel like his art really gets a chance to breathe, but otherwise I feel like it's very confined to these small panels with just so much dialogue. And obviously, like, Jack Kirby, I believe, also edited this book, which I hate to say this, but it kind of shows, because yeah, just some of the storylines and plot lines are just really out there for me. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not to say, I'm not here to say that Captain America always needs to be grounded, right? I mean, this was the 70s after all. But yeah, overall, I just, it's not as great as I thought it was going to be, if that makes sense. And maybe that's a controversial opinion, but I just don't see how this stacks up compared to stuff I've read before. The stuff I read before, in my opinion, in some ways is slightly better, even if the art's not as dynamic as Jack Kirby's is. I still think the plot lines of some of the previous storylines were a little bit stronger. Especially the Nomad stuff. I thought that was a really interesting kind of take with the character, and his eventual return, I think, was pretty triumphant there. But yeah, otherwise, maybe this last third of the book will surprise me. I hope it does, because I like Jack Kirby as a creator, right? I love his Thor stuff. I really enjoyed his Black Panther run, which a lot of people dog on him for that. A lot of people don't think that's a good run, but I actually thought that was pretty good. And especially the appreciation that it got later on by creators like Christopher Priest. But yeah, I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But overall, that's kind of where my take is on it. So we'll see how the rest of this readathon goes. So I'm chugging through that very slowly. Obviously, I have until kind of February. I have until this time next year to finish all my Cap stuff. So I have plenty of time there. And then also I read a couple of things. I finished up Deadly Class. Really enjoyed that series. I'm actually contemplating selling all my trades and just buying the compendium to eventually reread. But yeah, that's definitely one series that I read and I'm like, okay, this is something I'm going to keep on my shelf. I'm not going to resell. I want to have a copy of it in some capacity on my shelf to eventually go back and reread, because it's just that great of a story that I really enjoy reading it. So there's that. I also read Frog Catchers by Jeff Lemire. I read that in one sitting. It was a very quick read, so that was a very nice little read through there. Pretty emotional story, honestly, but I thought it was pretty good. And then after that, as I was reading this Cap stuff, I did go ahead and read all of Irredeemable, and that's by Mark Waid. And I can't remember the artist, so I apologize there. Yeah, again, another series that I kind of went into with some high expectations, and it was all right. It has a lot of Invincible vibes to me, and I think if anything, Invincible kind of borrowed some stuff from Irredeemable, because I think Irredeemable was first. I could be wrong there, but yeah, it took me a while to sift through all the characters, because there's a lot of characters to go through, right? So obviously this story is about a superhero who goes bad, and he's part of this larger group of characters or heroes, which I can't remember what the name of the team is, but yeah, so I thought it was all right. It again didn't knock my socks off. There were a couple moments during the book where I thought like it was pretty cool. Some of the reveals of different things and the plans they made to try to remove him from Earth, and how he eventually made his way back to Earth, I thought was pretty interesting. And just the sheer power that he has, I think it even rivals the power that like Invincible or Omni-Man would have. So that's kind of interesting in that regard. But overall, I thought it was all right. I would give it like a B plus maybe. So yeah, now we're handing out grades for these books. So then what else did I read? Yeah, so after that, I kind of just jumped into Spider-Woman, kind of in anticipation of Madam Web, which I still didn't see. And it's not because I'm lazy and didn't get around to it. I saw the reviews for that movie, and I was like, okay, well, this is something I'm definitely going to wait till it comes on streaming. I'm not going to spend $14 to go watch an awful movie. That's just, I guess, the nature of how movies are these days. So, but yeah, I read through all my Jessica Drew stuff. I figured there was no other better reason to read through it now. And I'm actually basically selling all of it back. So that kind of segues into where I'm at right now. So today I actually went down to Newark, Delaware with my fiance, and went to go trade in 2 short bins worth of books, and walked into Second and Charles down there in Delaware, and they told us that it will take about a week and a half for them to get to my order to take a look at it. So I wanted to I want to get rid of the books anyway, so I was like, that works. So I dropped my books off. They obviously made me sign for everything, and had, I got a number for my offer. So obviously once it is ready, whenever that is, in the next week or so, they'll give me a text, and I'll go down there and claim my offer, and also shop while I'm at it. So at this point, I think I have about $50 or $60 of store credit now, and I'm certain that with all the stuff I'm trading in here, I'll also probably get like another $70 or $80 of credit. So, you know, I'm thinning out my collection. There's a lot of the trade paperbacks that I've been selling are trades that I've already read that, you know, that if I want to go reread at some point, I can just pull it up on Marvel Unlimited and read it. It's not something that I will like prefer to have on my shelf to display, right? Like it's not like I crave having all the small Marvel trades to display on my shelf. So that's kind of where I've been thinning out stuff. So as I've been buying things, I've been picking out things in my collection to take off the shelf to sell. So like I said, I'm trying to keep everything at a net loss of things I'm putting on my shelf, I guess, if that makes sense, right? So I'm not trying to out capacity my shelves, if that makes sense. So there's that. But yeah, so we'll see how much I get back there, fingers crossed. But 9-minute introduction aside, we'll go ahead and finally get into this haul. So I apologize for that long intro, but we'll get into this here. So the first book I picked up here, as you saw in the thumbnail, is the Saga Volume 11 trade paperback here. So this collects, I believe, I think we're up to like the 60s now with this series, maybe. Yeah, we're into 61 to 66 of Saga here. So kind of made the mistake when this series restarted to just read the trades as they were coming out, and now I can't remember what happened in the last trade. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep collecting these on the shelf, and then once the series does finally conclude, which I don't know if, I don't think this is the last trade. You know, once it does conclude, I will go ahead and read the rest of the trades that I have to read. But yeah, this is Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples, you know, big giant space odyssey, romance type of stuff. A lot of Star Wars vibes, a lot of like, you know, kind of like Shakespearean vibes going on too. So really excited to read this and continue the storyline that's been going on for quite a while now. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Next book I got here is volume 1 of a series that I plan to pick up the second volume from once they ship it to me. So I did order this through IST, and the second trade is still waiting to be processed to be sent to me. So no big deal there. I'll get it when I get it. But that series is Snow Angels by Jeff Lemire, and I guess the artist Jock. There's no last name here, so I guess that's just what the last name is. But yeah, this is another Jeff Lemire book that I kind of got my eyes targeted onto, and the art here looks really beautiful, so excited. Good winter vibes going on here, so obviously living in the Northeast here, it's might be an appropriate time to read this book. But yeah, this collects, I think, the first 5 issues, I think, of the series. Could be wrong. And I think from what I've heard, I think this series was originally developed like exclusively for Comixology, and then obviously once the series concluded, they decided to go ahead and release it in trade paperback form, which I thought was kind of cool. I do not have Comixology yet, and I say yet because I'm still considering if it's worth my money to invest in that, or if it's just, you know, if I'm double dipping too much to the point where I'm losing money. But I think regardless, it's nice to have this and to have that on the pile. I was thinking that, you know, whenever I do decide to like reorganize my shelves at some point, or when Monica and I move into a bigger place and we get a bigger setup for my comics, I'm thinking about like just creating a Jeff Lemire shelf, because I definitely have probably enough to fill up at least 1 or 2 cubes worth of shelving for that. There's just so many stories that he's written that I really enjoy. So there's that. But yeah. All right, next up here, we have a couple epics that I picked up that I got here. So you're probably asking yourself, Dan, why are you still buying epics if you have Marvel Unlimited? So I am buying epic collections of stuff that of characters and runs that I intend to like keep for display, because like I said, I'm looking through my collection and picking out small trades of stuff that I'm looking to sell, and I like to keep the thicker trades. They look a little bit nicer on the shelf, and again, it's stuff that I'm looking to hopefully maybe revisit one day, either myself or anyone else who might want to reread stuff. So the first one here that I picked up was the Amazing Spider-Man: The Clone Saga Epic Collection here. So this is getting into the 90s Clone Saga stuff from Amazing Spider-Man and some of the other Spider books at the time. So you have Web of Spider-Man number 117 through 119, Amazing Spider-Man 394 to 396, Spider-Man 51 to 53, Spectacular Spider-Man 217 to 219, and Spider-Man Unlimited number 7. So, yeah, this is all stuff from 1994, my birth year. So really excited to read this. This is again stuff that I've never read before, and obviously we have Ben Reilly on the front cover, so really excited to read this. I know my friends a while back did a whole Clone Saga podcast, so they obviously are pretty well versed in this, but I'm really excited to read this for the first time myself. And I don't remember where this falls. Let me check something here real quick. This comes right after the Life Theft Epic Collection. So this may be the most recent Epic Collection in terms of the line. Like, this is like the latest in the line of the Epic collections for Spider-Man. I don't think we have anything that comes after this chronologically. So that's really cool. At this point, I've read all of the Spider-Man epics in my collection here. I went back, I think, beginning of last year, I believe. Or, no, actually, it was beginning of 2022. I went back and read through all of the epic collections in my collection here of Spider-Man. So I read, like, Cosmic Adventures, Return of the Sinister Six, Round Robin, The Hero Killers, Invasion of the Spider Slayers, Life Theft, Maximum Carnage. So I've read through all that kind of 90s Spider-Man stuff, and now this is just the next thing that I can put on that list of stuff to read. So really fun, and I'm looking forward to reading this as well. This is gonna be a fun read here. Okay. Next up here is another epic collection that I bought strictly because completionist in me, and this is also something that I bought because of the current read-through I'm reading through right now, and that is the Captain America Epic Collection, Twilight's Last Gleaming. So this is volume 21 of Captain America, representing 94 through 95. This has Captain America 431 to 443, Tales of Suspense number 1, Avengers 386 to 388, and material from Captain America Collector's Preview. So a lot of stuff in here. Definitely not the best material to write home to, but Captain America material nonetheless. And yeah, this just screams 90s. We got Nighthawk in here. So yeah, I'm somewhat looking forward to this. I think this is going to be an interesting read. If anything, it's going to look pretty dynamic and interesting. And the good thing with 90s epics is I seem to read through them really quickly because, as we get into this point, the art kind of takes the center stage and the writing kind of takes a back seat. So with that also comes less dialogue and less, text in general. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, just a lot of crazy stuff going on in this book. So I'm really excited to kind of just dig in here and enjoy some 90s Captain America there. And I mean, that just, it continues to expand my Captain America shelf out to the point where it's almost 3 shelves long now, or 3 cubes long, if you will. So it's just insane to think how much Cap stuff I have. I mean, I pretty much have the same amount of Captain America stuff as I do Iron Man stuff, like in terms of just sheer volume of things. Like my Iron Man shelves go about 3 shelves long, and same thing with Cap. Thor is the same way, so those big 3 kind of are the same length of volume that I have in my collection of stuff. So makes sense. All right. Next book I got here was a book that I've been trying to get here for a little bit, and kind of just kept dragging my feet on with it. I can't talk. Kept dragging my feet with this, but I eventually decided to go ahead and get it. And that is the newest Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips graphic novel called Where the Body Was. So this is actually a pretty thick paperback here, or hardcover. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, this is another kind of murder mystery book here with Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. I don't know what else I can say that hasn't already been said on this channel about these two. Anything they do basically turns to gold. It's always good stuff. I pretty much have every single book that they've ever created together in my collection, so there's that. But I'm really excited to read this, and this will definitely be a quick read and an enjoyable read. I like I said, I always walk away enjoying and having a very positive impact on these books. So really excited to read this. It's in stretch wrap. It's in plastic wrap, so I won't show you the inside of it, but I would definitely suggest picking this up if you're into that stuff. All right, next book I got here, another standard size hardcover. This is one that I had on my list just because of the creative team, and that is Gotham City Year One by Phil Hester and Tom King and Phil Hester. Eric Gapster and Jordi Belair as well. So this collects the 6-issue saga of Captain America, Gotham City Year One. So interested in this. I've read Gotham Central, and obviously I don't think it's the same thing at all, but kind of interested to see where this plot goes. You know, it's not really a Batman book, or we'll see what this is all about, but wanted to grab this for the collection. And like I said, I don't really have a lot of Batman stuff. Like I do have modern stuff. So I have everything from Grant Morrison up through, I have Nightfall and all that stuff. And I've read most of that, all that stuff. Pretty much everything I've in my collection before Grant Morrison I've read. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So trying to find a good opportunity to start reading some more modern Batman stuff, so Grant Morrison, Scott Snyder, Tom King, so on and so forth. So this will be a nice addition to that. And the biggest book here, one that I really look forward to reading, because I've heard so much good stuff about this series from my friends, and I want to say maybe about a year ago or so, I did go ahead and pick up the first volume of this series in omnibus form, and I believe this wraps up the whole series. I don't think we're going to get a third omnibus, but we may. And that is the Question Omnibus by Denny O'Neil and Dennis Cohen. So you can see here, beautiful book, by the way. Just love the presentation on this. This is also in stretch wrap, so I won't show you the inside, unfortunately. But this collects questions 28 through 36. The Question Annual number 2, Green Arrow Annual numbers 2 through 3, Tales from the Question Quarterly numbers 1 through 5, The Brave and the Bold 1 through 6, The Question Returns number 1, Showcase 95 number 3, and Azrael Plus number 1. So a lot of good stuff in here. Isn't the biggest omnibus, which is good. It's a little bit easier to hold. The first omnibus I think is slightly bigger than this one. So really hyped to read this series at some point, and a great addition to the collection here as well. So wanted to pick that up when it was on sale. I think I got that for like $60 on IST, which I think was a pretty good deal, all things considered there. But yeah, that is my comic haul. So 22 minutes later, sorry about that, but I hope you guys enjoyed this haul here, and let's go ahead and get into the Lego section of this video. Alright guys, welcome into the Lego section here for this haul video. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't really bought a lot of Lego in the last couple months, just because, as I mentioned in the past, this era, I guess, of Lego, or like this time of the year for Lego, is a lot of, new releases and honestly not a lot of sales. So I kind of just keep a loose eye on some stuff to see if there's any sales that go on, but really there's not much that I'm looking to pick up. We probably won't get many sales until closer to like June or July. That's usually when we see the first round of like discounts and some pretty good sales go on, just because the next wave of like big releases is coming out in that for the summer, so they try to get rid of kind of some stock from the months prior. So not much going on here, but I do want to say that I did make a purchase on Lego.com a couple of weeks ago, and it was for my wedding with Monica, our wedding. So what I'm doing right with that is I am creating these small like nameplates for everybody, and each nameplate is going to have like a little mini build on the top to kind of signify different significant dates and or things that Monica and I share in our lives. So for example, we have a black cat named Luna. So one of the builds is a black cat on top of the name placard. So I went ahead and ordered parts that I needed for those after going back to my parents' house and looking through my ever-expanding part collection since I've been breaking down more and more sets. So yeah, my next time I'm at my parents' house, I'll probably be doing a lot of building and collecting of parts to get a lot of these completed, so that way they can be stored away and ready to go for the big day in 8 months from now. So there's that. But when I did order that, I also ended up getting a gift with purchase, and that gift with purchase is the New Year of the Dragon promo set here. So a while ago, I remember I was so adamant about getting these, and I remember one year I ended up getting two, so I have one of them sealed. I think it was the Year of the Ox, if I'm not mistaken, which was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. This I'm going to keep sealed. I have no interest in opening this and building this right now, so I'm sure this might sell for more than I paid for it, which was nothing, technically, I guess, but yeah, we'll keep this sealed, put this in the sealed collection that I have in my parents' house, and you know, maybe try to resell at some point. I'm sure somebody down the line will be willing to pay a certain amount of money for this. Nothing crazy going on in terms of printed parts or anything, but it's a nice build, so I think somebody will spring for that. All right, so there's that. And then while I was in Newark, Delaware today, I also did go to the Lego store down there because no sales tax. But yeah, so I went down there, and I like the Legos. I like going to the Lego store, just not the one in Newark. I'm willing to put up with it because of the no sales tax, but it is such a small store. It is like smaller than the original King of Prussia store was. And the selection of sets is just really, really limited. So I didn't end up finding a lot. There was a couple sets I was on the lookout for, and they just didn't have them in stock, so I just obviously couldn't get them. But I did end up picking up a couple BrickHeads that I kind of had my eye on, and I think what I'll probably do with these BrickHeads is I'll build these ones, and I'm sure eventually when these are close to retirement, they'll go on sale on Lego.com, and I'm definitely going to purchase another copy of each of these to keep sealed. And starting off our list here, we have the Potted Groots BrickHead. So it's honestly insane to me that Lego took this long to make this BrickHead. You know, this is dating back to the first Guardians movie, which in August here will be 10 years since that movie came out, which is insane for me to think about. But yeah, so the Potted Groot, I remember I looked so hard and had to go over all these different stores to try to find the Potted Groot Pop Funko figure when that was around. So it's interesting that Lego went ahead and made this as well. So I think this will be a fun little build to have, and I do plan to put this up there with my dancing Groot. I think that would be a cute little addition to that display there. But yeah, wanted to grab that, and this is again definitely one that I'm definitely going to try to grab more of if they go on sale at some point. Next one we have here is the Iron Spider-Man, or Iron Spider, or whatever. It is funny though, because somebody I saw online did point out that this costume, I believe, is from No Way Home or something. It's the wrong armor that's supposed to be shown here. So yeah, only the best is good enough, I guess, for Lego. I believe this is the first, maybe not. No, it might be. This might be the very first Spider-Man brickhead that we've received that wasn't like a promotional brickhead, if that makes sense. So I might be wrong there, but otherwise, very great looking build here. Nice little design. I like the way they, I mean, you're limited in scope with the eyes, so I thought they did a pretty good job given what they were working with. So, but again, another one I'll definitely try to pick up another one of if they come back, if they retire, or if they go on sale before they retire. So, all right, and the last one I got here was another one that I'm tempted just to keep sealed. I'm not the biggest fan of this character, you know, and it's not because I don't like the character, it's just I'm just not a big fan of it. And that is the Sonic the Hedgehog brickhead here. I definitely think this one will sell for a good amount of money after retirement. Very notable character, obviously. Didn't end up picking up Tails today, but I may go back and pick him up too at some point. And again, might keep him sealed too. But yeah, regardless, definitely another one I'm going to keep my eye on for sale and possibly pick another one up if I find it. But yeah, really cool brickhead here. I really like the brickheads. I just wish I had a way to display all of them, because eventually, like, I'll display a couple in some areas, and then eventually I'll just end up taking them all down, and I have a whole bin's worth of brickheads, so maybe once I get more space somewhere, I can display some of the ones I like. You know, I don't think I need to display all of them. Obviously, that would look a little too tacky. But yeah, that's pretty much what I picked up. Not too much, like I said. So we'll go ahead and put those away in the collection, and let's go ahead and close out this video. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I do apologize that these videos aren't coming out on a weekly basis anymore, and it's just because I'm not buying as much. So like I said, I'm doing this for a lot of reasons, and I think honestly it's definitely helping my reading. I'm currently sitting at over 52% read in my collection, so at this rate I should hopefully should be at 60% read by the end of the year, which I'm really hoping I get to that point. That would be a really good accomplishment, and just or a lot of progress. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely go to my channel. There's a whole playlist with all these videos. And remember, please, to like, comment, and subscribe. Always helps the channel. And until next time, I will see you guys on the flip side. Peace.